It's 2 a.m. Instead of writing this script, I'm reorganizing my Notion workspace again. Then I reorganized the reorganization, color-coded it, made templates for future reorganizations. That's not procrastination, that's structured avoidance. If you've ever watched a raccoon make pancakes at 3 a.m. or smiled when someone called you organized while knowing you've rewritten your to-do list 6 times today without actually doing anything, yeah, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Sam, and here's the uncomfortable truth. Those habits you think are holding you back, the overthinking, the procrastination, the fact that you feel things way too deeply, those aren't bugs, they're features you haven't learned to use yet. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why your brain isn't broken. It's just miscalibrated. And once you understand how you're wired, everything changes. Let's start with the obvious one, overthinking. You know that 3 a.m. mental hamster wheel? The one where you're replaying a conversation from 2017, specifically the part where you said "you too" when the waiter said "enjoy your meal," and your brain has filed this under evidence you're socially incompetent and refuses to let it go? Yeah, that's not just anxiety, that's cognitive horsepower with nowhere to go. Research shows that people who overthink, who mentally spiral, who question everything, they tend to score higher in creativity and problem solving. Your brain isn't noisy because it's defective. It's noisy because it's powerful. The goal isn't to silence your brain. Honestly, you probably can't, and that's fine. The goal is to give it structure so it stops running in circles and starts running towards something. Here's what actually works. When your thoughts spiral, write them down. Not in a journal entry kind of way. Just dump them. Then sort them into 4 categories: problems, fears, ideas, solutions. That's it. You're not trying to fix everything, you're just giving your brain a filing system. Once it sees what's actually going on, it stops spinning and starts solving. Number 2, that weird gap between how people see you and how you see yourself. People think you're doing great. Meanwhile, you're lying in bed at night thinking, I could be doing so much more. Last month, someone told me I was crushing it, and I smiled, said thanks, then went home and stared at my half-finished projects, feeling like a fraud. Because what they saw was the polished version. What I saw was everything I hadn't done yet. That's not imposter syndrome. Well, okay, maybe a little, but mostly. That's what psychologists call self-discrepancy. It's the gap between who you are right now and who you know you could be. And here's the thing nobody tells you. That feeling of underachievement, it's not evidence that you're failing. It's evidence that you have a really clear vision of your potential, and you're not there yet. Most people don't feel that gap because they're not looking that far ahead. You are. That's actually a good sign. It just feels terrible. 3. Procrastination plus last-minute miracles. Let me guess. You can't do 20 minutes a day on a project to save your life. But the night before a deadline, you turn into some kind of productivity superhero and pull off a 6-hour sprint like your life depends on it. I've watched myself do this so many times. I'll have a presentation due Friday. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, thinking about it. Wednesday, mild panic, still nothing. Thursday at 11 p.m., suddenly I'm designing slides, writing speaker notes, adding a joke on slide 37 that absolutely slaps. That's hyperfocus. It's common in creative, non-linear thinkers. And I know it looks like procrastination, because it is. But the ability to drop into deep, uninterrupted focus, even inconsistently, is actually rare. You're not lazy. Your brain is just a diva that only performs under specific conditions. Right now, that condition is existential panic. But what if you could book your brain for a gig without the dread? Try this. The 10-minute trick. Tell yourself you're only doing the thing for 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes feels harmless, non-threatening. Your brain drops its guard. But here's the secret. Once you start, your brain naturally slips into that same deep focus mode you usually only access during last-minute chaos. You're not trying to finish the task. You're just trying to start the engine. Momentum does the rest. 4. Feeling everything all the time. If you walk into a room and instantly sense the vibe, If you know someone's upset before they do, if you're constantly adjusting your tone like some kind of social chameleon, you've probably been told you're too sensitive. That's emotional intelligence, and it's one of the strongest predictors of success in relationships, leadership, and pretty much any situation that involves humans. You read people, you feel patterns, you tune in. The problem isn't that you're empathetic, it's that you're treating every emotion you notice like it's your job to fix it. That's when empathy becomes exhausting. Here's the shift. Use it like a radar, not a sponge. Notice the patterns. Understand what people are really communicating. Adjust your response, but don't absorb their stress as your own. Empathy is a tool. It's only a burden when you forget you can put it down. 5. Ambition fatigue. You want to start a business, write a book, learn a language, redesign your life, finally get in shape, build better habits, read more, create more, be more. And you're exhausted. Like, I need a nap just thinking about my goals, exhausted. I spent an entire Sunday writing out my 5-year plan. Vision board, quarterly milestones, daily habits, the whole thing. By the end of it, I was so tired I took a 3-hour nap and ordered takeout. My brain had used up all its energy just planning to be better. That's not laziness. Your brain doesn't get overwhelmed by effort. It gets overwhelmed by options. Too many possibilities, too many directions, too many shoulds, and suddenly you're running 47 Chrome tabs in your brain simultaneously, while 12 of them are playing different motivational speeches, and you're still trying to figure out what's for dinner. The antidote? Simplicity. One task. Pick the single action that moves your life forward today. Not the whole plan, just the next step. One habit. Choose one tiny behavior you can repeat daily. Small consistency beats giant bursts of energy every time. One win. End the day knowing you did something that nudged you closer. Momentum is built in inches, not leaps. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do one thing, then another, then another. 6. Being hard on yourself. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one. Being self-critical kinda sucks. But here's the weird part. If you're self-critical and self-aware, research shows you actually grow faster than people who aren't. The difference is this. Self-criticism without awareness equals shame. Self-criticism with awareness equals growth engine. When that voice in your head says, I know I can do better, that's not failure. That's your inner coach. Slightly grumpy maybe, a little harsh, but useful. The trick is asking, what is this trying to teach me? The moment you turn judgment into curiosity, your inner critic becomes your inner mentor. Same voice, different purpose. So, what now? Here's the truth. Your potential isn't something you build from scratch. It's something you uncover. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not lacking discipline, talent, or whatever other story you've been telling yourself. You're just learning how your mind works. And once you understand your patterns, the overthinking, the hyperfocus, the sensitivity, the ambition that feels overwhelming, you unlock the version of you that's been waiting to show up. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's possible. And honestly, you're closer than you think. If you made it this far and something clicked, good. That's what this is for. See you in the next one.